as you're involved in different events, just break down for me as your, let's say you go to an event and you see someone who you really want to develop a relationship with, who eventually you want to sell your services to. What is your mindset as you begin that conversation?
So typically, I know how long it takes from first touch to when my expectation to get anything out of somebody is typically 18 months. I call it landing in the boat. It takes a big fish, a big land is about 18 months. And so just set your expectations that if you're going to think you're going to walk up and go pull a contract into the boat on the first day, you must be a hypnotist. Because that only happened for me back in the recession when things were just devastatingly bad and any nickel saved was good. I could walk in and say, I'm Austin, I want your work. And they'd say, sure. But now it's negotiate and pricing and wrenching a contract loose. And it's just a whole different game you're in and you're playing against. You have long relationships. You have people like me who've had long relationships against you. You have the face of my business and construction has changed immensely. It's no longer just a competitive bid. It's an of company, material allocation, labor. There's just so much more to it. And so if you're a starting construction company, you're up against just a monster of an industry, right? So I would say that new person that I want to go against, I have to either go to another friend in the business who's working for them and ask for an introduction. And that's probably the best thing I can do. And I've been blessed with some really key points in my life where I've met some real power hitter networkers that have very deep pools. And so I can usually call upon 3 or 4 of them that are well respected in the business and say, hey, can I have an introduction to this guy and get a breakfast, lunch, dinner, drink, event, something. And that has opened doors for me that would never have been open before. That's pretty good. Or I have to just suck it up and I have to go hit the cold one. And the cold one's tough. And that takes, even for me, who's been doing this a long time, I don't care who you are, that makes best put butterflies in your stomach that you're going to get rejected. It tests your fortitude. You've been doing this too for a long time. I know you have to do them. If you are the best cold caller on the face of the planet, it's still going to make you tingle a little that you're going to get told no, and you're going to have to get past it.
Yep. It's I really like this idea of you understanding your sales cycle, and that from first touch with a decision maker to getting a contract is an 18-month time frame.
Yeah.
I think it's a very important takeaway for the senior leaders of an organization to understand that and be able to have that mindset themselves, but then also to communicate it to other people in their organization.
And have realistic expectations. I mean, if your second tier people are not making these closings, you have to understand that they're still up against the same things you are. If you're the C-level operator in your company, it takes you 18 months. It may take them 2 years. Mm-hmm. It may take them worse, even longer. It just is what it is.
Yep. And now this idea of asking for an introduction, when you're considering that approach, how do you execute that approach in terms of identifying the person who you want to be introduced to and who you should ask for the introduction?
So my industry is pretty tightly knit.
Right.
And I'm lucky enough to be pretty saturated in it in the home building. And I know who I don't have, and I typically know who does have access to. And I usually call around, there's some major players in the trades right now that do most everybody's work. And I can call and say, hey, do you work for, a KB Home, right? Or do you work for Lennar, right? Yep. And they say, oh, no, I don't do them anymore. Or, oh, I lost their contract. Or, oh, yeah, I do them. I have a great relationship with the purchasing guy. I say, oh, well, that's not high enough on the food chain for me. I need someone a little bit more. And so I work my way through, right? And I usually, through my depth of pool, sooner or later I get to someone who says, oh, I worked there for 20 years and I have a great connection with the division president. I say, perfect. Well, could you give me an intro? They say, oh, absolutely. I'd love to connect you. And next thing you know, I'm in a golf cart or I'm, at a lunch, and I at least got like I told you, the hour to 4 hours or even 30 minutes to say, hey, I'm a good guy and, I'd love to do it. And next time you have an opportunity, think of me. And It works.
That's excellent, excellent. So let's just build this here. First, we have the time frame expectation for C-level, perhaps whatever it might be. In your case, it's 18 months. For someone lower down in the organization, it could be longer. Second point, and again, let's just get really into detail here. It is the right contact person.
Yeah, don't waste your time going to a superintendent when he can't make the decision.